Hello again. And when I say again, this time I mean again, because I made this video about half an hour ago and finished and realized that I had zero sound to the video. This is the growing pains, the learning curve. And so I am back at it. So I came here, I'm Shantae from Stitching Hearts Embroidery, and I came here to make an embroidered watermark. So here is a sample of it on my screen here. And on this video, we're just going to go through how to make it in your software. I am using Embrilliance Essentials, Enthusiast, and Stitch Artist 1. I was just thinking, if you don't have Stitch Artist 1, you could almost do this just with Enthusiast, but you would not have that extra stitch around it. You would have to cut out your felt. You wouldn't have the finishing stitch. But if you just want to start learning, like deciding if you want to buy Stitch Artist 1, you may want to try this if you just have Essentials and Enthusiasts. Essentials for the BX font, because we are not digitizing a font. We left that to somebody else for right now. Right now, we're just wanting to get in that software and learn the basics of like stitch editing and just using your software and not just having wasted your money. So Essentials for the font. You can get your font from wherever you want, whatever, Etsy. You know, there are hundreds, thousands of digitizers who make beautiful fonts. And then Enthusiasts to get that edge around it. And so without having Stitch Artist 1, you're not going to have this final satin stitch around there, because when you purchase Stitch Artist 1, and then of course 2 and 3, you get this, at the very least, these stitches. And so that's what we use to make the border around there. So let's get started. I made this already. And I'm just going to hurry up and remake it. I'm supposed to be cleaning my room, but I'm back at it. So here we go. We're going to go up here to the top, choose a new page, clean slate, right? We're going to go right here to the top where this letter A is. And this is something that you get if you use Embrilliance Essentials. I think it's not called Flex. It is called a word that it is free. You can make stuff in there. You can download Essentials and use this for free. You just cannot save your designs, I believe is what they say. I did not use it for free because I didn't hear somebody say you couldn't save your designs. And I tried it just for 10 minutes or a half an hour, maybe an hour. And I could not understand why it wasn't saving the design. So I just hopped in there and purchased it. Later on, I figured out or heard someone saying, oh, you could have used that like that. You just had to maybe make the design. I don't know. There's some thing to it, some little caveat that you can practice in it. And you can use, some people even use the free version for a long time. So there is a way to do that. I just don't know it. So here we go. There, I clicked on the A. It gave me this little ABC. I'm going to go over here to my properties panel. I'm going to type my business name. I'm going to type at Shantae, but it's at Stitching Hearts. Stitching Hearts is a long enough name that I'm going to not put embroidery on there. And so this is just going to turn out to be a little 1 inch, 1 by 6 inch, almost like a little patch that I can use. I can lay it next to my photo. If I'm making a shirt and I want to post a photo on social media, I can lay that on there and it's my watermark. Just like you have a digital watermark or a watermark made of wood or acrylic, you know, that's your business logo name that you can use when in your photos. So earlier I saw someone ask, how do you make an embroidered watermark, which is just a patch or an applique design. All those things are kind of the same. You take an applique design, make it freestanding, add the patch back, and you have a patch. Add the sticky back or sew it on. You don't even have to add a sticky back. And then the same thing, you can take that same applique design and use it as a watermark. So here we go. There it is. My name is Stitching Hearts. I'm going to press enter. And there it is. This is a 5x7 hoop. And I know that because right here at the bottom, it says hoop 7x5. So there it is. I'm going to choose my font. I already know what I want to use. I'm going to use a font by Stitchtopia called Lovebug. And just because I know that those T's are right for what I need, I've tried this already. And so now we're going to go back to playing with these squares, the buttons that allow you to move your objects or your letters around. So when you click on the word, or appear in the object panel, you can click on that. Gives you this bounding box. So this tells the software this is what we're working with. It gives you a square on each letter. You can take that square and move that letter individually, right? So let's get back there. Nope, I just want the square. I can move the A up or down, whatever I want to do with it. I'm going to go back and back. So let's choose it. It gave me that. That allows me to move the letters individually. If I click on any one of those squares, it's going to add some things. The circle allows you to move your design up and down. Based on which circle you choose to move, it's going to move it from that letter forward, right? So let's go back and back. And then these triangles, the top, like the bottom triangle, it also allows you to move everything past that. So the letter that you click on with the triangle and then everything behind it will move. And so that helps because it just keeps your design from being all over the place. If I was just moving these letters one by one, I might be a little more all over the place by the time I'm done. So this moves everything over and it just makes a lot less movement of each individual one. So did you see how that worked? So this S is actually supposed to be lower. It's just the way the font is. And since that one's lower, so then let's move that to the center. So the whole thing is selected, and it is not quite 2 inches and a little over 6 inches. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, just a little bit. I can do that. And I'm also going to add just a little bit of oomph, a little compensation, a little bit of extra stitches to these letters. So I chose the letters, right? I'm going to go right over here in my properties panel to stitch. And this thing right here where it says compensation 0, I'm going to click on it and I just want to move it. Let's see if you can see. So it's at 0. Let's move it to 5. Look how thick it made those letters. Now it's not always a good idea because sometimes it might fill in your circles or your holes. But I do know that maybe between 1 and 3 works for certain fonts. And so I just want that to stand out. I want those letters to be a little thicker. Can you see that? And so in there, in this properties panel is where you can make some changes. You can slant those letters a little bit. And I'm mad that I did that because I just took them all apart. Let's put that back. Okay, so here we go. Let's get moving. We're at 9 minutes and I'm moving. I got to get this room clean today. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to go up here to utility. I'm going to choose knockdown stitch. I am going to make the inflation. This is the one that we are concerned with when we're trying to put a cloud, a bubble, a knockdown stitch. When we want to, well, really the edge around is what we're ultimately looking for. So I'm going to say, let's do it about a 4 millimeter. That means it's going to be out from the letters about 4 millimeters. And depending on how wide or how inflated you make your letters, that's going to determine the outline you get around them. So I'll show you in a minute. So this is a 4 millimeter. It gave me a big bubble around with just a little bit of dents and crevices around, right? I'm going to delete that. We're going to go back to utility. We're going to say add a knockdown. We're going to make it a 1. We're going to say add. And so this, if you can see, is going to give us some big crevices around there. And it's not going to give us very much space around our letters, right? And I want to put a satin stitch around this one. And so that's not going to work for me. So it's already highlighted. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to go back to utility and do it again. I'm going to add a knockdown. I'm going to go about 3.5. Okay. And I like that one. I like that around the A looks pretty round. There are some rounded dents. And with Stitch Artist 1, you can go in and change some of that. So it doesn't have to be perfect right here. So there we are. We have it. We are going to change that to let's go up here to create. This is the create button where you can see your stitch options. So we're going to change that one to a fill stitch. But I want it to be straight up and down. Now, if you can see, like this, let's see. I could see that some of those stitches are slanted, and I don't want it slanted. I want it straight up and down like that. And so this is this inclination line that you just saw me moving. This, whenever you see in Embrilliance, this yellow circle, that gives you're able to change the direction of your stitches. And so there are lots of variables in that, and we're just not even really going there right now. So I do want a little bit of an underlay. Let's do a perpendicular underlay. So all I did was I went over here to fill. This one gives me my top properties. You know, if I'm going to have an edge pad, what stitch design I want. It could be snake. Can you see it changed a little bit? But we're just going to stick with the basic tatami. But I also I went to the second button, and it's the underlay. It's the part under it. So I think earlier I made something and I took the underlay off. And so now when I'm going back in the software, it didn't give me an underlay. And an underlay are those stitches behind. So this will be a little bit more of a solid feel. It's going to give me some perpendicular lines, perpendicular to the direction of the top line, the final stitch out line. So this will be a little bit heavy or stitch intense, but I want it to be like that because it's going to be a little tag. It's going to be a little thing that I'll be able to lay down, and I want it to have a little bit of structure to it. So I want that to be a little thick, and that's it. So there we are. And so if you do not have Stitch Artist 1, this is what you would get. But you could, especially if you're using the same color as your felt behind, you could cut around here and you still have this. At least you could practice with this to determine if you are interested in purchasing Stitch Artist 1, right? So the next part, Stitch Artist, here's where Stitch Artist 1 comes in. I chose that. I'm going to go outside of my bounding box, right click, copy, right click and paste. But this one, it looks like this thinks I'm asking it to put another whole fill stitch on top of everything. And I'm not. I'm going up here to my stitch box and I'm going to choose I could choose a run stitch, but I'm going to choose a satin stitch. And I don't want it to be too wide. 2 millimeters is probably good. And that's it. So there we are. So I want to change the color of that. I want to have the option when I get over to my machine to use a different color. I can set those at the same color once they're on my machine, but I just want to make this with the option to change it. And that is it, sorta. So what I should have done was left another stitch in there so that I could cut around. So I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. And this one I'm going to move earlier. And I'm going to change that to a run stitch. And then over here in my properties panels, I want it to be a double, and it says double, so that's exactly what I want. But I need to change the color. Any color. I just want it to be a different color. So let me show you what this gets us. Let's go up here to our stitch simulator. Move my face. I'm going to push go. Oh, here it is. And so it's giving me the whole background. Now it's giving me the letters. And now it's going to give me a run stitch around it, right there. And then my machine's going to stop. I'm going to take this off the machine and I'm going to cut because I'm going to have a piece of felt back here. Why did I do that? And so I'll have that felt. I lost where I was, right here. Get back there. So right here, when it finishes that, I'm going to cut as neatly as I can with the best scissors that I own. And then I'm not going to take it out of the hoop. I'm just going to take this off of my machine, cut around there, and then I'm going to put it back on the machine and let it finish it up with that pretty satin stitch. And that's it. I just made a watermark, an embroidered watermark for my photo designs that I put on social media. There are so many things you can do with this. I could have, because you have Stitch Artist 1, I could have gone in and cleaned this up, got rid of some of these nodes, but I feel like in the beginning, that is what makes things so confusing. So you will have a better stitch out. If you are looking to sell designs, you don't want to leave it like this. But I am trying to just share how to jump on the train and get going. One other thing is starts and stops. So the first is this underlay. The green bow tie says it's going to start here, and the red bow tie says it's going to end there, and that's okay. So then my letters are going to start at the beginning and come this way. So it's going to stitch, stitch, stitch. It's going to end over here. It's going to do the blue letters. It's going to end over here. And then this one is going to start here, which is perfect, and end over here, just so that my machine is not all over the place trying to get to the starts, the next start. So as you get more familiar with the software, you got to learn about these starts and stops and more about stitch direction and inclinations and more about all these nodes. But for today, for right now, we just want to jump on the train and take a ride. We want some wins to boost our confidence so that we are willing to get on the train again. So that's what we're trying to do. And so then this last one, so this one, what did I say? This one's going to start here and end up here. So for the last one, we want it to start up there at the top. So let's switch that one. Let's take this. I just grabbed it with the left mouse click and drag. And then I'm going to grab the red one with the left mouse click and drag. So it's going to start here. It's going to start here. It's going to stitch and end up here. And then it's going to start up there. It's going to stitch and end this way. And then it's going to go that way. And it's going to go back that way and end. And so that's it. Let's make sure that I changed all the colors. I did. And let's make sure for this run stitch this bow tie is a tie in and out. It says, yep, it's already clicked, tie in and tie out. Sometimes, especially with that run stitch, you got to make sure that you tie it because your machine will start stitching and that stitch won't catch and it'll slip through. It's going to give you some errors. You might buy a design like that sometimes and you cannot figure out why won't it stitch, or you have to hold that first thread to get it to go because it missed tying it in and out. So that one's done. It is ready to go. I will try. I will pray. I hope that there's sound to this video. So I'm going to upload it and put it in YouTube. And while it's doing that, I'm going to stitch this out. It tells me how many stitches this is. It says it's 16,000 stitches. It's more stitches because of this background. And I have the option of, when I get over to my machine, not even putting the background, especially because I'm going to put felt on it. So you can have the background or not the background. I will probably stitch it out first without the background, so it'll be a quicker stitch out. And I can got to figure it out how to add it to this video in YouTube. So I will see you guys later after I clean my room. At least after. Maybe not even today. Today is Sunday. Tonight is my Monday. So it's the first night of my night shift work week. So I go to work tonight. So this may be it for the day. I have some testing to do for some other digitizers, which I mention often that I really like to do because it's just helping me to understand the process. I have been testing for digitizers since the beginning, since I first learned, probably since at least 2020. At some point I was testing and the digitizers were testing me. They were like, that is, like giving these orders, like they give you a free design a lot of times for testing that design for them, giving them some feedback and helping them figure out if that design is ready for sale. But sometimes, especially at that time, my store was open and sometimes testing gets overwhelming. So right now I'm in a good place. I'm just learning. I'm in school right now, my own school. I'm in the school of hard embroidery knocks. And so testing is working for me. So I will probably do some more testing this afternoon, but probably no more digitizing myself. So let me just make sure this is in the middle of my hoop. I just noticed that. So I put a box around everything and I'm just, put it in the middle. But probably no more digitizing myself. So no more videos for the day. And I will see you all possibly not till next week, or at least toward the weekend. I'll probably work through Wednesday night and then I'll see you guys. Enjoy, like, comment, and subscribe is what I hear them saying for more how-to videos, mainly focusing on Essentials, Enthusiast, and Stitch Artist 1. If you have any questions about Stitch Artist 2 or Stitch Artist 3, and I will try my best to load them on and answer your question or just answer your question. See you guys later. Have a wonderful Sunday afternoon, evening. Bye.